I am in my special laboratory suit, and we are about to enter the compound laboratory of Health Plus Pharmacy. And once again, Dana Nelson is going to give us a guided tour and show us around.
Now you'll see we have glassware. These are just tools of the trades, and the glassware needs to be cleaned, what we call punctiliously. That means that legally they are clear of all contaminants. They have to be baked after they're cleaned and cleaned in very hot water and special solutions. Here is a hood that we use for containment. What that means is that when we're weighing out powders and things, those are our balances, and each of the balances has a printer on it, so that as the powders are weighed, the chemicals are weighed, we have a documentation of exactly how much is weighed. But by measuring into this container, we also assure that it doesn't come out into the room. So it protects our staff from any problems of being contaminated by the medications and the chemicals that we're weighing out. We make capsules of a variety of different kinds, remembering that these capsules are nothing other than medications that have already been approved by the FDA. Some of them just are no longer available. Some of them are not available in this strength. And sometimes we have to make different combinations so that people can take one or two different medications at the same time. We have a variety of various colors and dyes that we add to different compounds. Again, those are used, as I said, as an indicator for uniform distribution. We also have a variety of different flavors, and the flavors also we change because children especially find it very difficult to take some things unless they have their own particular flavor.
Generally in your big pharmacies, this is all done by machine, or is it all done this way by hand, just like you're doing here?
It's all done by computer-driven machine.
Okay.
So they don't use people in major pharmaceuticals. They use them for variety, not for making individual capsules anyway. They'll use them for mixing the powders together to pour into the capsule making machines, but they're huge. The capsule making machines are huge, and they make huge batches. We don't make huge batches. Again, that's another quality control mechanism we have. If there ever is a problem, and luckily there's not been, we could have a very easy way of a recall. And the other thing we do is by keeping a small amount, it's always fresh. We only make about a month's supply for what we have here, so we don't have to worry about things expiring or deteriorating due to age. This is where we keep all of our chemicals and all of our preparations for going into the sterile room. Again, here's another balance, electronic balance with another printer, again in a containment hood. Now again, also you'll notice that there's sticky mats on the floors here. There's a wash-up area. We have to wash before we go in. These are our certificates of compliance. We have to have our rooms checked every 6 months to assure that they're clean. And the way they maintain their cleanliness is that they blow air out. If you notice, this door, when closed, you'll hear the air coming in from underneath. That means the air is blowing out. Were we to open it, it immediately blows open. What that means is all of the bad air is blowing out through here. Because of the sound, we can't have this blower on here too, but this also has a positive pressure. Now if we look through here, you can see the various components that we have to go through. The sticky mats, the barriers, and you can see the barriers are blowing with positive pressure. That's again blowing all of the air out. Now inside is another hood, and that hood in and of itself is another sterile area. So we go through all of these precautions to make sure that there are no contaminants in our sterile products.
And this is washed down daily?
It's washed down daily with several different germicides. And there we have a cleaning schedule of daily, weekly, monthly, semi-annually, and annually. And each time it's a different degree of severity of cleanliness. So it's a very, very clean environment.
Tell us about the manufacturers that actually supply you with all your pharmaceutical.
There are not a lot of manufacturers of raw chemicals in the United States. Most of them come from either China, India, some in Europe, and some in Central and South America. That's just the way it is. It's the same for major manufacturers as it is for compounders. We just happen to get ours from smaller wholesalers. Whenever we get a supply, we get some quality assurance material from the manufacturer showing us that it meets all of the specifications of what's known as the United States Pharmacopoeia and the FDA. And those are the bodies that govern the quality of chemicals that come into the United States. And again, like I said, some of our manufacturers give us even higher quality than is required because we need that. Now, our technicians are hand-chosen. Some of them have already been trained in compounding by various schools. Others we send to schools to be trained, or sometimes they're trained in hospitals. Then they go to school, and then they also have to become certified by the state. They too have to have continuing education to ensure that they're current with everything. We do a lot of in-house training also. Because we develop our own policies and our own procedures, and so once we develop that, we make sure that all of our technicians and all of our compounding pharmacists follow those same policies and procedures, so that we know that when something's made one month, the next month it'll be exactly the same. Now, we also do some other holdbacks, other quality assurance methods. One of the things we do is as we compound a prescription and before we dispense it, we'll make a little bit extra and hold that back. That we send to independent labs, and we have them check for potency and for shelf life. And if it's a sterile compound, we have them check for sterility and to make sure that everything's clear. And so that way we have a running log, and we keep a log of all of our statistical data on the strength and purity and the shelf life of all of our chemicals in compounds. That way, it's just to make sure that the patient is getting what the physician or prescriber ordered. The FDA has a certain mandate, and that mandate is to ensure the safety of medications and foods in the United States of America. With that, they deal with major manufacturers of pharmaceuticals. Major manufacturers of pharmaceuticals, we call them Big Pharma, contends that we are actually manufacturing. That's nowhere near true. Compare our laboratory size to the size of a big pharmaceutical company. We make compounds of medications that are already available. They might not be available in the right strength or in the right form for a person to take them. That's our job. One of the contentions of Big Pharma is that there's no quality assurance with the products that come out of laboratories. Well, you've seen here today, we have a strong quality assurance program, and almost all compounders do. It's just as important to a compounder to make sure that the product they produce or compound is what the physician or prescriber ordered, and that's what the patient gets. Otherwise, we don't know what's going to happen. Now, some people can't take medications in one form. Some people can't take the right strength because it's not available. That's where Big Pharma falls down. Compounding, on the other hand, deal with those individuals that need those medications in the right strength for the right patient, the right form. C. Everett Koop, the past head of the health services in the United States of America, is quoted as saying that medications don't work in people that don't take them. He's right, but some people can't take them the way that they're produced by major manufacturers. That's the challenge of the compounding pharmacy, to make sure that the patient can get that medication so it can do some good.